And welcome to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman. We're here to speak about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon-to-be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, Aaron, at lighthouse with an L, lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me out on the web at www.aaronkatzman.com. That's www.aaronkatzman.com. Be sure to follow me both on LinkedIn and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tell your friends, tell your spouses, anybody, get your whole family to sign up to the YouTube channel. So I want to speak about something today where I know that people are going to get really angry with me. It's like one of those things where the people are who subscribe to a certain viewpoint are like hardcore, and they don't have a lot of room for other people. I'd like to speak about what's called the FIRE movement, which stands for FIRE, Financial Independent Retire Early. Now, I also want to say that a lot of what they subscribe to, I believe in, which is living within your means. I believe in that, right? I talk about that all the time. Investing. These are things that I truly believe in. But I think that it's a little bit extreme. And there was an article that appeared on Business Insider about 6 months ago or so. The title is, I used to think early retirement was the only way to live my ideal life, but I found a better approach. Thinking, well, I started to say, hey, maybe she's rejecting the whole early retirement thing. Well, not so fast. I'm going to read a few paragraphs, then I'll give you my take. There was something so enticing to me about the financial independence retirement early movement, FIRE, when I learned about it a few years back. The idea that if you understood your numbers, you could aggressively invest, save, and reach retirement over a short period of time and begin living your best life when you hit your ideal retirement number. FIRE folks are those people we read about at the age of 32 with over $1 million saved, or the 27-year-old who never had debt and worked a high-paying job and optimized every financial decision in order to hit their FIRE number before 30. In retrospect, I'm surprised I felt so strongly about the FIRE movement because nothing about my financial life would indicate that FIRE would ever be right for me, she said. As time went on, I started asking myself some questions about FIRE, and I realized that FIRE connects deeply with the imagined life that most people want to live and plays on that hopeful future, but it just wasn't for me. I really disliked the idea that I would have to sacrifice to the point of financial deprivation for the next 10 to 12 years in order to hit my FIRE number. Part of what I disliked this is that I'd already sacrificed for years to pay off more than $60,000 in unsecured debt. I'd side hustled, lived in a small home, and said no more often than not to purchases that I felt would negatively impact my debt repayment goals. They were great financial moves at the time, but I kept thinking about my life in the future. I started to dream about my ideal FIRE life would look like. Waking up naturally without using an alarm clock, traveling on trips in my state of Colorado, visiting my relatives or going abroad whenever I felt like it, pursuing intellectual interests to my heart's content, helping others financially or through volunteering when possible, going to brunch and having that bottomless mimosa. I'm going to stop, okay? This is the problem, okay? This is the problem. This is the dream. I want to retire when I'm 28. Okay, I've never even started living my life. I want to retire when I'm 28 years old. First of all, I want to live in my parents' garage. I want to save every penny possible. I never want to go out with my friends. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to have any life, okay, just so I can save whatever it is, $1 million, so that by the age of 28, I can wake up naturally without using an alarm clock. That's a hell of a goal. Can I just tell you something, Miss Jackson? I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and I don't use an alarm clock either. Traveling around when I feel like it. Helping others financially or through volunteering when possible. Or going to brunch and eating whatever I want, right? Isn't there more to life than waking up without an alarm clock or volunteering when possible? Because you're so busy the rest of the time, right? Pursuing whatever you're pursuing, okay? Did it ever occur to people maybe they were put on this earth to be productive in one way or another, and not just sort of, I get the feeling a lot of the FIRE movement is sort of a selfish, they're going to kill me for this, a selfish movement, right? So I do what I need to do so that I can go out and do what I want to do, dream about, right? Waking up late and sitting in my pajamas until 2 p.m, right? That's a great life, right? But what about everything else? What about society? Maybe if you made all this money, you were blessed to get all this money, you should actually help people. Not when possible, but that should be your life's calling. I'm not against changing professions, especially if you hit it big, right? You make some money and then you want to do something which is meaningful to you or can help society. More power to you. That's fantastic. But doing it between trips to Colorado to visit my fourth cousin, and there's another issue, right? All these people talk about, does she have any concept? Maybe she's going to get married one day. Maybe she's going to have kids. I hate to break it to these people, but when they have kids, first of all, their expenses go up a lot. Kids cost money. Young kids cost small amounts of money. Larger kids, larger amounts of money, right? They say small kids, small problems. Large kids, large problems, both financial and emotional. But, once you have children and they got to go to school, right? Well, so much for picking up, and going to closing your eyes, pointing to the map and figure out what our destination for 3 months is going to be, to go salsa dancing in Latin America. It's not going to work that way because your kids are in school. You can point to the calendar and say, hey, we've got parent-teacher conferences on Tuesday night. That's going to be your big travel plan, let me tell you. So again, I just think it's overdone. And I think there's more to life than waking up without using an alarm clock, okay? Or going to brunch and having that bottomless mimosa, right? I mean, how superficial can we be, right? If you actually if you have the means, why not help people? And why not just when possible? Why do it all the time? Maybe that's your calling, but isn't the money, you're blessed with the money to do what? Yes, you can enjoy it, but maybe to give back to society a little bit, have a family. These are things I think the FIRE movement really remisses. Again, I really do subscribe to their views of living within your means, right? I don't think you have to be hardcore. And like I say, you don't have to live in your parents' garage and not spend any money and just mooch off of them and then put away every single penny. I don't believe that, right? I believe that you should live within your means. You should save, pay yourself first, right? Try and save between 10 and 15, even 20% of your income. That's great. Dump that into savings. That's fantastic. But you can go out with your friends. You can get married, right? You can have a social life. You can give charity. All these things are good, worthwhile pursuits. And, that's part of life. I agree that you should save. I agree that you should live within your means. But that's where I think I sort of part ways with a lot of this FIRE movement. So, Miss Jackson, thanks so much. I'm going to spread the word to that the dream of all people should be to retire early so they can wake up without an alarm. Wow. And that was the first part of the list. So that makes you wonder a little bit about the whole movement. Anyway, you've been tuning in to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman, where we speak to you about your life, your money, and your investments, and meaningful life. Meaningful life. Okay, that's what we want to speak about. That's what this podcast is about. This is what these videos are about. This is what my practice is about as a financial advisor. I have like a goals-based practice. We try to understand what your goals are, what your needs are, and then we invest accordingly. It's not, and I've never heard anybody yet say to me, Mr. Katzman, my goal is to eat as much as humanly possible at brunch and to wake up without an alarm. That's my goal. That's not reality. I've never yet met the person that's like their big dream. Anyway, if you got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, AARON, at lighthousecapital.co.il. Be sure to check me out on the web at www.aaronkatzman.com. Follow me on both LinkedIn and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's put out the fire. Let's take some of those principles of the FIRE movement, adapt them to our lives, but the overall thing about the dreamy retirement, let's forget about that and get back to reality and be productive people and help society as a whole. You have been, once again, turning into the Aaron Katzman Show. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will speak to you soon.